sage Garm, using the power of the runestones, released a great evil upon the land. This demon, Scorn, broke free of Garm's control, crushing him and imprisoning his soul in the underworld.
Just like there's a world of difference between a dabbler in the necromantic arts who can barely pump enough negative energy into a discarded mortal coil to get it up and shambling, and a true Deathlord creating necrocraft monstrosities that can send even the bravest adventurers running back to the bounty board. There's a black gulf of infinity separating a back alley conjurer who can't do much more than summon up infernal rats in a pinch, and a true summoner who can call forth the leviathans lurking in the Sea of Souls. Like always, I'm going to begin my analysis of the Summoner class for Pathfinder 1st Edition by going over the ability scores you will need to keep in mind. First, and most importantly, is Charisma. This will affect your spells, your abilities, such as Summon Monster, as well as skills, like Handle Animal and Use Magical Device. Also, with their Charisma modifier, summoners have high potential as the party face. If you invest in skills like Bluff or Persuasion, you can gain these through traits or feats. The next ability score to keep in mind is Strength. Summoners are tougher than your average caster, and they do well in melee combat. Now, to go along with that Strength modifier, you are probably going to want a Constitution modifier to increase your HP and durability. Finally, you might think about prioritizing Intelligence. As a summoner, you have access to all of the knowledge skills, so you can fill in for something that the party needs. With those ability scores in mind, let's go over your race choices. Personally, I think Half-Elf is one of the best choices you could make for summoner. They have a fantastic favored class bonus that gives you 1/4 of a new evolution point. So what that means is every 4 levels, your Eidolon will get an additional evolution point. And as you'll find out later, more evolution points means a more powerful Eidolon. Additionally, half-elves have the Ancestral Arms alternative racial trait. This allows you to pick a weapon proficiency, which summoners are sorely lacking. Finally, half-elves don't have any particular stat penalty, which is never a bad thing. Next up, Gnome. The Gnome favored class bonus gives your Eidolon +1 hit point every time you take it. Gnomes have a good stat bonus for summoner, +2 to Constitution and +2 to Charisma. However, they take a penalty to Strength. But, considering the Constitution bonus and the bonuses they get from being small size category, I think they more than make up for their loss in melee damage with melee survivability. Finally, Aasimar. They have decent stats with that +2 to Wisdom and +2 to Charisma, as well as a fantastic favored class bonus. Your Eidolon will get damage reduction bypassed by Evil. 1 point the first time you take the favored class bonus, and 1 additional point for every 2 levels you invest in the favored class bonus. Remember, DR against Evil is bypassed by evil-aligned weapons, not physical attacks or ranged attacks or whatever kind of attacks from an evil creature. Now that you know some good potential race choices for your summoner, let's talk about class features, starting with base attack bonus. Your summoner will have the mid-range BAB. That's the same as a rogue, a bard, or a cleric. You have a D8 hit die, and proficiency with light armor. Also, you can cast spells in your light armor without incurring arcane spell failure. What all of this means is you can be effective in melee combat fighting beside your Eidolon and summons. You can use things like battlefield positioning to increase both your chances to hit and deal damage for you and your Eidolon. And with your D8 hit die and light armor, you can survive in combat relatively well. The next class feature we need to go over is Summon Monster. You can cast Summon Monster as a spell-like ability 3 times per day plus your Charisma modifier. You can only do this when your Eidolon is not summoned, and casting is a standard action instead of a full round action. The creatures summoned with this ability remain for 1 minute per level instead of 1 round per level. This ability begins as Summon Monster 1 at first level and increases to the next step, Summon Monster 2, 3, 4, etc., every 2 levels after 3rd. So you'll get Summon Monster 2 at 3rd level, Summon Monster 3 at 5th level, Summon Monster 4 at 7th level, etc. With all of that out of the way, let's get on to the defining class feature of the Summoner, the Eidolon. Your Eidolon is a powerful outsider that functions as a second character for you to control. Your Eidolon has the same alignment as you and can speak all of your languages. Unlike a normal summon, your Eidolon can stay with you indefinitely, as well as touch and attack creatures under the effect of protection from evil or similar ability. If you are killed, go unconscious, or fall asleep, your Eidolon immediately vanishes. Your Eidolon does not heal naturally. It can be healed only by spells cast by you. When you summon your Eidolon, it has the same HP as it did when it was last with you. If your Eidolon is reduced to negative HP equal to its Constitution score, it returns to its home plane, and it cannot be summoned again until the next day. When you resummon it, it will return to you with 1/2 its total hit points. Summoning your Eidolon takes a special ritual that takes 1 minute. Eidolons cannot be banished with Dispel Magic. However, dismissal and banishment work as normal. Your Eidolon's hit dice, base attack bonus, saves, skills, feats, armor bonus, ability bonuses, attacks, special abilities, and all important evolution points are determined by your summoner level. Your Eidolon's size, speed, quality of saves, ability scores, and attack types are determined by your Eidolon's base form, such as quadruped, biped, and serpentine. Evolution points are used to buy abilities and bonuses for your Eidolon. They can give it things like new skills, enhancement bonuses to attacks, and new types of movement. As I said before, more evolution points mean a more powerful Eidolon. All of that was for the vanilla summoner. Now let's talk about the unchained summoner. The Eidolon is one of the 2 major differences between the 2 versions of Pathfinder 1st Edition's summoner. In Unchained, your Eidolon must be within 1 step of your alignment. Your Eidolon's alignment, as well as its base form, base evolutions, and other abilities are determined by its subtype. Eidolon subtypes include Angel, Azada, Demon, Devil, Elemental, Genie, etc. Because of the complexity of summoner Eidolons, I'll be covering the specifics of Eidolon's base forms and special abilities in a separate video. The next class feature is Lifelink. At first level, if your Eidolon takes enough damage to be sent back to its home plane, as a free action, you can sacrifice HP to prevent damage to your Eidolon. Each point of HP sacrificed prevents 1 point of damage. Also, your Eidolon must remain within 100 feet of you to remain at full strength. If it's within 100 to 1,000 feet, its max HP is reduced by 50%. If it's between 1,000 and 10,000 feet, its maximum HP is reduced by 75%. If it goes beyond 10,000 feet, it returns to its home plane. The next class feature is Bond Senses. At 2nd level, you can, as a standard action, share senses with your Eidolon, hearing, seeing, smelling, and even touch. This lasts for a number of rounds equal to your summoner level, and you can end this as a free action. The next summoner class feature is Shield Ally. At 4th level, when your Eidolon is in reach, you get a +2 circumstantial bonus to saves, and a +2 shield bonus to AC. Next up, Maker's Call. At 6th level, you can transport your Eidolon to you as Dimension Door, using your class level as your caster level to determine distance. You can use this ability 1 time per day, plus 1 time per day for every 4 levels after 6th. Next up, Transportation. At 8th level, you can use Maker's Call to swap places with your Eidolon. If your Eidolon is larger than you appear in a space that it occupied. The Eidolon must be able to fit in the place that you occupied. The final Summoner class feature I'm going to talk about is Aspect. At 10th level, you can divert up to 2 evolution points from your Eidolon to yourself. As an example, you could get both a set of claws and improve the damage of those primary natural attacks to 1d6 plus strength modifier. However, you cannot select the ability score increase evolution. Now, it's time to talk about your Summoner spells. The Summoner is a 6th level caster, just like Bard, Occultist, and Investigator. You have spells known as well as a limited supply of ammunition. Rejuvenate Eidolon is one of your most valuable spells. It's the only way to heal your Eidolon. I would also recommend buffs like Haste and Bull Strength, as well as great control spells like Create Pit. If used at the right time, these can be incredibly valuable. The Unchained Summoner spell list is the other big difference between the 2 versions. The original Summoner gained access to spells faster. As an example, Haste is a 2nd level spell for the Vanilla Summoner, but a 3rd level spell for the Unchained Summoner. This puts it on the same level as Bard in terms of the spells it gets and when it gets them. Finally, let's talk about some of the feats you should consider when creating your Summoner. First up, Extra Evolution. This increases the size of your Eidolon's evolution pool by 1. You can take this feat at 1st, 5th, 10th, 15th, and 20th level. Next up, Summoner's Call. With this feat, whenever you perform your ritual to summon your Eidolon, it gets a +2 enhancement bonus to Strength, Dexterity, or Constitution for 10 minutes. Also, definitely think about teamwork feats, like Precise Strike. Whenever you and an ally with this feat, such as your Eidolon, are flanking the same creature, you get an extra 1d6 damage. Also, Outflank. When you and an ally with this feat are flanking the same creature, you get an additional +2 bonus to hit. Finally, you can further augment your Summon Monster ability with summoning feats, such as Augmented Summoning, Superior Summoning, and Evolved Summon Monster. I go over all of these feats in detail in my Summon Monster guide, available either on YouTube or BitChute. Thank you for watching this class analysis from D6 Damage. If you're interested in more class analysis, strategy guide, or other videos about Pathfinder versions 1 or 2, check us out either on YouTube or BitChute. And if you're interested in taking your game further, join the D6 Damage Discord, where we have fantastic community discussions about all aspects of Pathfinder, from character builds, role-playing, looking for group, world building, game mastering, and much, much more. Thank you for watching.